What's up, folks? It's Smurf here with Money Match Gaming, and today we're going to be covering our top 3 highest yield pools on Pulsechain. That means these pools have the most liquidity, they are paying the most, they have the highest APRs, and in our opinion, they are the safest, they're the better options, the less risky options. So that's what we're going to be checking out today. We got a wonderful list for you guys. Let's jump into it. Boom. First up, we have Pulsex. Pulsex is the native DEX of Pulsechain, you could say. So this one has first movers advantage, and thus it has the most liquidity on Pulsechain. And with the most liquidity, if you have the what's liquidity for anybody who doesn't know, liquidity is just like, it's just money, right? Liquid money, money that you can, by liquid we mean it can be easily transferred from one thing to the next. It moves really fluid, right? And so and that's just like a roundabout easy description of that. You're not gonna be confused. So you deposit or create liquidity on the platform here in the liquidity section on the trade page. And why am I mentioning liquidity with Pulsex? Because with the most liquidity, you can make trades with less slippage. And so what is slippage? Slippage is the price difference that you pay when you trade something. So you could pay and it's like you could basically end up paying a premium to get into something. So by premium, I mean you end up paying more. So imagine a bigger tax on a certain thing that you buy because there's less of it. So imagine if you were buying something at the store and there's not a whole bunch of vendors for that thing, or there's like only so many of them on the shelf, however you want to think of it. And so when you go buy that thing, because there's so few of them, because it's not that there's not demand for it, but there's not enough people creating it or holding that asset for you to interact with. And so there's a lot of slippage, and they can keep making more of it. So, the supply is not an issue, but there's not a lot of people making it. So you end up paying more for that. So I don't know. Another analogy like that is like you go to a fast food place and you're in line for your fast food, and you're doing it because it's cheap and you know what it is and whatever, right? But it takes forever. This time you're in a line, and for whatever, there's 2 cars in front of you. The line takes like 30 minutes. You might as well go and sit down somewhere. And on top of that, they messed up your order, and you already drove away. And so you didn't even get the type of food you would like. So it's kind of like slippage. And so you want to reduce slippage. You want that good crew that's working it right. You want no line. Yeah, whatever. I'm reducing this to fast food. So that's the idea. So if there's more liquidity here, then there's going to be less slippage on your trades, which means you don't pay a big fee. Everything works perfect, and it's seamless. You don't even notice because you get the exact same amount of pulse when you swap between another token that you were expecting, right? There's no big fees. And so since Pulsex is first, they have the most liquidity over here. And on top of that, they're also paying some really nice APRs as we show. So USDC and Pulse pair right here, I'm going to be pointing out this one and maybe this one. Is 140% over here, and then 150% for the DAI pair. All right, and now we're going to move into our number 2 platform. And so what is Pulsex, by the way? Pulsex is a DEX, right? It's just a DEX in itself. And there will be a V2 coming out soon, but it's not out yet. So our number 2 yield earning opportunity on Pulsechain, I've been hovering over it a little bit. Let's jump in here. It's Daytona.finance. Daytona.finance. And we'll have referral links, because these things have referral links, to all these beneath this video. So if you want to use one of these, go ahead, use the referral link. It won't hurt you, but it will help Money Match Gaming. And that means we can hold more events and do more prize pools and whatever the heck. And we'll be showing you guys what we do with that money transparently. But whatever, it's Daytona.finance. So this is like the second big yield pool or DEX to appear on Pulsechain. There was a whole bunch of others that cropped up, but they were like scammy and this and that. They didn't have the right layout. This one is one that we know. And so Pulsex, it was pretty much launched by the Hart team, right? We know that's a Richard Hart DEX. It has his stamp of approval. Daytona does not. However, this is a fork of a protocol which everybody in DeFi knows. If you were part of last year's DeFi summer and whatnot in winter, which is Goose Finance. This is just a copy of Goose Finance. So we see the fees down here with 4%, and so it's like, oh, DeFi's entering this phase. All right, there's going to be a bunch of these ones coming up, and so you can expect there to be different platforms with the little fee that they take there. So they take that fee, they put it on something else, and they use their own DEX. So it's a competitor to Pulsex. So trades could be cheaper here for certain assets. They could offer probably more since more is not incentivized on PulseX. If you want to get more here, so this could become like the meme DEX of Pulsechain. We'll see how it works out. As long as they don't allow other people to really creep in on their territory too quickly, this one might survive. We'll see, because everything's not going to be catering to the same audience. So number 2 on my list is Daytona Finance, and just to show you guys the farms over here, 335% versus 140%. However, there is that 4% fee, so it's going to take you a little bit over 4 days over here on Daytona to recoup everything, but then after that you're earning more than 2 times what you would on PulseX. But it's gonna take you that amount of time. So what are they doing with that 4%? I don't know, because the docs aren't. I don't know. I have to go through the docs and see if there's like anything like really like specific. But most of these places don't even have good docs. They don't have anything for you to really read up on that stuff. You have to do your due diligence and find out what they're forked from, etc. All right, third up on our list. Third highest yield paying. Oh, and where's Die on this? I didn't even find Die over here. Whatever. That's why I said, probably gonna stick with that one. Third up on our list is Pulse Rate. All right, so Pulse Rate made the list, and it was close. I was thinking about putting another project in front of it, but I'll cover that project later. Actually, yeah, I'll cover that project later, and we'll make a whole video about it, and I'll have threads about it, etc. But Pulse Rate comes in third place with some pretty high APYs over here, APRs. $4,000 token. Last week it was around $3,000. I know it shot up to as high as like $7,000 or $8,000. So some people got that 2x and just dumped. They couldn't hold it any longer. We saw a lot of money flow to Daytona at that time, and then it seems like it's coming back over here. So yeah, this is a project to keep your eye on. What I will say about this one to stay clear of maybe or be wary of is that, yeah, it's an algorithmic stablecoin project, and so far we haven't seen a whole bunch of these that have worked in DeFi. Since some successful ones do include like USDD, which has the backing of like Justin Sun and Tron. There's some other ones, and I'm like, because I don't want to like call somebody who like has switched up their model in algorithmic stablecoin, but that's one example that you can use there. Right. So this is forked from Tomb. Again, projects that are the most trusted in their infancy of Pulsechain are going to be these forks. And so this one is forked from Tomb, so everybody knows the code. Tomb, to my knowledge, has never been hacked, and so that's a plus too. Same thing with Goose, it hasn't been hacked. Same thing with the native DEX, no hacks. At least they shouldn't be, unless the team has to be malicious. There's like not an opportunity for bad actors to just come in and like, oh, this was just horrible on your platform. That doesn't seem to be the case with a lot of these. Now there's things like sandwich attacks and whatever that could happen, but I don't think that's necessarily on the DEX itself. Or yeah. So, and I feel like that's more like borrowing and lending marketplace, whatever. Over here we got 152% APR, which is a lot more similar to what we saw over here on PulseX. And so I'm in Pulse Rate right now, and right when I got in, like it seemed like it took forever because there was a little UI bug, and hopefully they fixed it up. Basically, you have to push max no matter what amount you're going to enter, and so that's also like it's a little cringy to me because like I want to put in the amount that I want to put in. I don't want to necessarily risk more than I have to risk. And so some people were trying to act like, oh, it's not a big deal, but I'm like, or you could just get it fixed. It's not a big fix. So whatever. But that is a thing. Since I've already been in it, and the price has been going up again in crypto bubbles, Pulse is up 5%. And so with Pulse up 5% and me being in for a few days now, I have already made up my initial deposit. So it's sitting around my initial deposit amount. Plus I have the P rate that I've earned from this platform. But if you just jump into something like PulseX, you're only going to have to recoup your gas fees, basically, whatever fees you paid to enter the thing. And Daytona, I didn't mention this, but yeah. Oh no, there's this 4%. I was thinking of another DEX in the back of my mind. All right, that's it for our top 3 highest yielding DEXs or opportunities on Pulsechain. I can't say opportunity. These are my top 3 because of the reasons that we listed before. Again, they need that liquidity, they need the yields, and they need some measure of safety, risk mitigation. All right, and we had PulseX, Daytona Finance, and Pulse Rate. But wait, we've got a secret nugget for you. This is my token that I like. I'm going to be paying attention to, and it's up 10% today. Woot woot, woot woot. I should have bought more. Up 10% today. Maybe I will. And yeah, I'm going to cover this. You know, do your own research on this one. This is a little bit of a homework assignment for folks. But that's it for today. We'll see you in the next one. Smurf out.